She said it right there in my kitchen. 7 words. You just don't understand how the world works anymore. Same kitchen where I made her breakfast for 18 years. Same table where I helped with homework. Same chair where I sat up past midnight waiting when she missed curfew. And she looked at me like I was something to step around. Not angry exactly. Worse, indifferent. Like I'd already stopped mattering. I'm Dorothy. And that moment, honestly, it cracked something open in me I'd been sealing shut for years. Because it wasn't just a bad day or a careless comment. It was a pattern, one I'd been too afraid to name. There are things your children say, specific phrases that aren't just hurtful. They're warnings. Clear warnings that something in the relationship has turned, that your dignity is being chipped away piece by piece, and that you're being trained to accept it. Here's what nobody tells you about being a parent past 60. Your children, the ones you poured everything into, they can wound you in ways a stranger never could. And the world tells you to take it, understand them, forgive them, keep giving. But I'm going to tell you something different, something I wish somebody had told me 20 years ago. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do, for yourself and for them, is to walk away. Not forever, but far enough and long enough to protect what's left of who you are, after everything I've been through because of you. My son said this to me 2 years ago. We were talking about money, you know. He needed help again. And I hesitated. Didn't say no, just paused. That was enough. The anger came fast. The resentment I'd watched build for years but never wanted to name out loud. After everything I've been through because of you, I think you owe me this. Felt like a fist to the stomach. What he was really saying right was this. Your love wasn't a gift. It was a debt. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every dollar stretched thin, every dream you put on hold. That wasn't love. That was a bill. And he's collecting now, with interest. That phrase, it dresses itself up as honesty, like someone processing their childhood. But it's not about healing. It's about leverage. You damaged me, so you owe me. That's not a child looking for understanding. That's someone who's turned your love into ammunition. I stayed in that conversation, tried to explain, to defend myself, to apologize for things I'd already apologized for 100 times. And you know what happened? He wanted more. More money, more proof, more groveling, because that's what this phrase does. It's never about one thing. It sets up a permanent arrangement where you're always guilty, always owing, always wrong. So when you hear it, you say this, exactly this. I hear that you're in pain, but I won't accept being treated like I owe you for loving you. Then you get up. You leave. Not because you don't care, because love, real love, doesn't create debt. It doesn't turn a mother into someone's permanent debtor. And then there's this one. Doesn't sound as sharp, but honestly, it cuts just as deep. You're too old to understand. My youngest says it about everything. I'll mention something, anything, technology, the news, one of her choices, doesn't matter. The answer's always the same. Mom, you're too old to understand. Things are different now. For a long time I just accepted it. Thought maybe she was right. Started staying quiet, stopped sharing my thoughts. Didn't want to be that old person everyone rolls their eyes at. But one day it hit me. She wasn't really talking about technology or culture. She was talking about my worth, my right to even be in the conversation. What she was saying was, you're obsolete. Your experience doesn't count, your perspective is irrelevant, because you're old, and old means worthless. You know what, though? Being older doesn't make you irrelevant, it makes you more valuable. You've survived things your children can't imagine. You've seen the patterns, recognized the cycles, understood consequences they're still stumbling toward. That's not outdated, that's priceless. When someone you raised uses your age to silence you, that's not them being modern. That's disrespect. You say, my age gives me perspective you haven't earned yet. You don't have to agree, but you do have to respect me. And then you walk away. Let them learn the hard way, the way you did, the way everybody does. This next one, honestly, it sounds mature on the surface. If you don't help me, I'll figure it out without you. Sounds self-sufficient, right? But listen underneath. That's not independence. That's an ultimatum. Give me what I want or lose me. My daughter ran this play for years. She'd ask for something, money usually, or time, or support for a decision I wasn't sure about. And when I'd hesitate, try to talk it through, she'd say, "You know what? Never mind. I'll figure it out myself." That tone, that voice that says clearly, "You're failing me. You're not the mother you're supposed to be." And I'd panic every time, terrified of being shut out, of losing her. So I'd backtrack, apologize, hand over whatever she wanted, over and over until I finally saw it. This was hostage negotiation. She was using my fear of losing her to make sure I never said no. Real independence sounds like, "I appreciate your help, but I can handle it if you can't." Manipulation sounds like, "Help me or lose me." One respects your limits, the other exploits your fear. When you hear it, you say, "I love you, but I won't be controlled by the fear of losing you." And you walk away. Let them figure it out. They will. They're adults. And maybe they'll learn that real relationships aren't built on threats. "You're the reason I'm like this." This one almost broke me completely, I'm not going to lie. My oldest told me this during one of our conversations. "You're the reason I am the way I am, Mom. If you'd been different, I'd be different." Every problem, every struggle, every hard thing in his life laid at my feet. My fault, my failure, and I believed it. For years I believed it. I catalogued every mistake, every time I'd been tired or frustrated or just human, every moment I hadn't been perfect, which was, most of them. Thought maybe he was right, maybe I damaged him. But here's what I finally understood. Yes, I made mistakes. Every parent does. Nobody's perfect. But he's 45 years old. He's made thousands of his own decisions since he left my house. And blaming me for all of it? That's not processing trauma. That's refusing to own his life. As long as he can point at me, he doesn't have to grow, doesn't have to change. And as long as I accept the blame, I'm trapped. Stuck trying to fix the past, nobody can change. You can't redo it, can't erase it. That perfect mother doesn't exist, never did, never will. But you can stop carrying your adult child's present like it's your burden. You say, "I did my best with what I had. What you do with your life now, that's yours." And you walk away from the guilt. Because they don't want an apology. They want a permanent scapegoat. And you deserve better. You never really loved me. If you've heard this from your child, I'm so sorry. Because this one doesn't just hurt. It erases everything. It takes 40, 50 years of parenting, every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every small, quiet act of love, and says, none of it was real, none of it counted. My daughter said it to me during an argument. Can't even remember what started it. But I remember those words. "You never really loved me. You just did what you had to do." And I broke completely. How do you defend against that? How do you prove love you already gave? You can't. Because the person saying it has already made up their mind. They've erased your love from their story. And they're saying it because it's the most devastating thing they can say. The thing that hurts the most, controls the most, makes you beg the most. I spent weeks making lists, moments we'd shared, things I'd done. Like love was a court case that needed evidence. But real love doesn't need to be proven. It can already be seen. And if they can't see it, that's not about you. That's about them. You say, "I know what I gave. I know it was love. If you can't see that, I'm deeply sorry, but I won't debate it." And you stop defending something that should already be known. "You're just being dramatic," said with an eye roll, a dismissive wave, a little laugh that says your feelings, your pain, your truth, it's all performance. My son does this every time I try to express hurt. Doesn't matter how gently I say it. "Oh, Mom, you're being dramatic. It's not that serious." And it makes me feel small, ridiculous, wrong for feeling what I feel. That's the goal, right? That's exactly the goal. Make your emotions seem made up. Make your pain seem invented. Make you question whether you're even allowed to be hurt. But here's what I finally learned. I'm 83 years old. I've earned the right to my feelings, to my voice, to my truth. I don't need permission to be hurt. I don't need anyone to validate that my pain is real. I feel it. That makes it real. When they dismiss you like that, they're not disagreeing with you. They're erasing your right to feel anything at all. You say, my feelings are valid. You don't have to agree, but you do have to respect them. And you leave the conversation. Your voice matters, even if they've decided it doesn't. The last one. And honestly, this might be the most dangerous of all. You're the one who needs help, not me. This is gaslighting, pure, calculated gaslighting. You try to address something, a behavior, a pattern, the way you're being treated, and instead of hearing you, they flip it. Mom, I'm really worried about you. I think you need to talk to someone. You're not thinking clearly. My daughter did this for years, still does. Every time I set a boundary, every time I express hurt, every time I say no, somehow I'm the one with the problem. I'm the one who's not okay. I'm the one who needs help. And I started believing it, questioning my own mind, my own memory, my own reality, thinking maybe I am losing it, maybe something's wrong with me. That's what this phrase does. It makes you doubt yourself so completely that you stop trusting your own perception. And once that happens, you're easy to control. Needing support is human. We all do sometimes. No shame in that. But being told you need help as a weapon, as a way to dodge accountability, that's not care. That's control. You say, I know what I experienced and I trust myself. And you walk away before you lose yourself entirely, before you start believing their version of you instead of the truth. I wish I'd walked away sooner from all of it. The phrases, the patterns, the conversations that left me smaller every time. I wish I'd known earlier that protecting myself wasn't abandoning them, that boundaries weren't cruelty, that I deserved respect and basic human dignity, especially from them. It took me until I was 81 to understand that. 81 years of believing love meant accepting anything, but it doesn't. Love includes boundaries, includes mutual respect, includes seeing when something's turned toxic, and having the courage to step back. So if you've heard any of this, from your children, from anyone, know this. You're not crazy. You're not dramatic. You're not wrong. You're just finally seeing it clearly. And seeing clearly, that's the first step towards saving yourself. You don't have to cut them off forever. You don't have to never speak again. But you do have to stop accepting it. Stop tolerating it. Stop letting yourself be made smaller. Stand up. Walk away from conversations that hurt you, from patterns that drain you. Maybe they'll notice. Maybe they'll change. Maybe they'll see what they lost. But even if they don't, even if they never do, you'll have chosen yourself, your peace, your dignity. And that's everything. Thank you for sitting with me, for letting me share the hardest things I've learned. If you want to sit with me again, I'll be here. Still learning, still protecting myself, still choosing peace. Take care of yourself, whatever that means for you.